You're listening to the local glow.
Hello friends, you're listening to The Local Glow. My name is Tariq Shahada and I want to introduce you to a friend of mine. Coincidentally, it's his birthday today. Evan Opitz is turning 23, which means it's been nearly a year since he stopped by our studio for an interview and to share with us some original music of his. We wound up talking for hours about things like processing life events through music, pushing the boundaries of art and our own abilities to create, as well as his recent move to Chicago. Well, since then, he has steadily come into his own in the local music scene here, performing and recording with his flagship project, The Phantom Broadcast, a recently birthed outfit of his called Two Sets of Eyes, as well as several other active groups around Illinois. You can hear his voice and his guitar's sweet singing all over town these days, and it's no wonder. His innovative but accessible approach to songwriting, as well as his mind-boggling guitar work and energized performances, are a blast to behold. And his more delicate side, featured in today's performance, is poignant and inviting. Take a listen.
In the midst of all confusion and hush, you rest your head on my chest. What's gonna happen when we return to our lives? Are the colors changed from green to white? You are irresistible when you are down, crushing candle wax to make sure you don't drown. Paddle down the river to the nearest town, fall in love with the first human you see in sight, in sight. It's been a couple weeks to get the story straight. I walked right into something that's greater than me, going through the motions between the head and the heart, a synapse jolting us to start a raging fire. The stars align in a way that makes us feel aroused, a kind of spark that's missed when you are not around. And amidst the pitch you'll find another crown, and in turn we'll be kings across this tiny town, this town. So lot of the writing that I've been doing lately has been a little bit more honest. I used to disguise things a lot, and I realized that part of what makes music so something that people can relate to rather than some like odd story or like, I wrote a sci-fi style concept record a few years back, and I mean that was also really personal, but I disguised a lot of the subject matter with a story that I created versus here it is, this is what I'm going through right now, and now I realize that it's really easy for me to console myself and put my mind at ease by taking these pickles that everyone finds themselves in their lives, and instead of just ruminating on them and letting them fester, just taking a moment, putting it into a song, and just it's there. I don't need to think about it anymore.
For sure.
And if I'm feeling down about something or something similar to that, or if I'm thinking about that thing in particular, I can go back to it and remind myself what I learned.
I used to do a lot of journaling, and that was kind of my way of kind of processing through things that were going on.
Right.
And you're totally right. Once you have something written down, maybe something that's kind of like stuck in your head or bothering you, or some difficult experience that you're going through, if you can put it down onto some paper, it almost feels like you can just kind of set it aside for a little while, and you can kind of lay your burdens down into a book or into a song or something like that, just for the time being, and you can kind of find some peace and some rest in there,
right,
between your shows, at least, I guess. We'll have to kick it back up again, but
yeah, you don't have to be stressed out all the time.
Yeah,
there's everything. I mean, obviously, it's not good to be stressed out or worried about things at all. But it happens, and you shouldn't let it consume you, because a lot of people, including me, I let a lot of things that stress me out or cause me anxiety to rule the way I think and to rule the way I act in social situations or just in life in general. Those things they creep up on you and then consume you, and then you're like, this isn't who I am. What's happening right now?
Yeah. So that makes me wonder. I can't remember the exact words that you used, but sort of like putting your experiences into the songs, and kind of what does that do to shows and like the performing experience for you? Like when you have to go back to those songs that were maybe representative of a difficult processing moment. Does that make shows like emotionally taxing, or is that something where you just kind of keep it in the music, or is that does it come back through you in a way?
There's a process that I go through mentally with that subject matter. I realize that it's out in the open, and anyone can hear it, and anyone in the world has an opinion. And so that's the first thought. It's the fear of putting yourself out there. It's that part's stressful, but then you realize a lot of people go through the same thing, and that someone, at least one person, can relate to it. And in that situation where you're standing in front of a crowd and you're singing stuff that's like either controversial or controversial to yourself, it's empowering to realize that other people understand what you're going through, and it's that's something that's beautiful, and that's one of the greatest things, in my opinion, about music in general is the ability to have a connection with the audience like that on a deeper level that people can relate to with their lives.
And I think not only is that something that makes it such an incredible experience for the musicians, but also I think for listeners when they get to see somebody maybe that they look up to, or whose talents they appreciate, go out kind of on a limb and sort of like take a risk by putting themselves out there.
Exactly.
To be able to connect to that it's a sort of thing that can make a fan of your music 1,000 miles away. You go play a show in their town, and they can just like talk to you and be like, there's just like that instant connection of just like, I feel like you know me, and I feel like we've like been through some things together.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, all right, so we got a few songs yet to get through. What song are you going to be playing for us next?
This is going to be, it's actually the second part of a two-part song on the upcoming record. Originally, it was just one song called No Further Than We Are Now, and I decided it would be appropriate to split it in two. This second part of the song is entitled How Did We End Up Here? I made up. You sent me here to guide you and keep a watchful eye. The wolves rebel against us, the scent unbearable. We break the instinct down, they can hardly see us go. We won't exactly ask the ones that came before, but expect all the doors to be unlocked. Just walk right in and steal the diamonds off the floor. There is no way that they can stop us. Awake and pack your bags, babe, and leave before the sunrise. Just do not ever look back. You haven't paid the price. Looks like we're wrong again, babe. We robbed a second-hand store. We fool around with the sharks and then sneak out the back. We want exactly as the ones that came before, but expect all the doors to be unlocked. Just walk right in and steal the diamonds off the floor. There is no way that they can stop us. There is no way, hey, push me aside, feel the warmth. Plug me in, let me dance for you. Return. So that set the course for this idea. What if I wrote a love song about two criminals that are breaking the law and stealing from grocery stores and jewelry stores and banks, and it's just like this crazy romantic story about a couple that is just criminals, and eventually they get consumed by their vices and end up getting caught, and going to prison and being separated for forever, So that was a fun idea. But at the root of it all, it kind of ties into where I was at the time I was writing it, relationship wise. I'd just broken up with a serious girlfriend of mine, and I kind of wanted to write about it, but I didn't want to write a song another song about a girlfriend, or ex-girlfriend.
I really like it when artists, they take themes from their lives and kind of incorporate that into a really fascinating story. Just puts, whole new colors on those ideas.
Yeah. Well, it also, like, if that thing that you wrote about kind of expires, you can put yourself into the story. Like, that's what I did with the album Until Next Time. And that record was kind of a space emo opera thing, if you could call it whatever, that would probably be.
I like that combination of words.
And that was about heartbreak, or just like struggle and being in a cage or being boxed, and I wrote these characters so that if I ever were to return to those songs, I could envision myself as that character and get into character. Literally.
Yeah, no kidding. That's so cool.
Tap back into what you were feeling when you wrote it.
Sure. That's cool. It's making something for yourself to relate to instead of just kind of relating directly. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that. It's like a proxy. Okay, so this is a big deal. You just graduated a couple months ago. Where did you go to school?
I went to University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. I studied jazz guitar, jazz performance.
So that's how you got so dang good.
I mean, I had to learn how to play guitar myself. It was a discipline that I decided I wanted to get into. Your teachers aren't going to teach you how to be a good musician.
Yeah.
Shocker. It's like, oh, wait, you're supposed to give me information. You're supposed to tell me how to be a good musician. You're supposed to teach me how to play jazz.
You're supposed to make it happen, right?
They're not going to teach you how to do that. They're going to put you in settings and give you the world, open the doors, but you have to walk through them, Yeah. You get out what you put in, Yeah. If you don't put that much in, you're not going to get much out of it.
Which can be exhausting. I feel like that's very true and very good. But it can be a weird point of just like deadly stress at university where it's like, oh my gosh, if I stay up for another hour, my GPA will go up by a discrete amount. It's like you can make the trade-off, from your health to, a number representing your performance. Yeah. And that fact is terrifying.
It is.
Because, freshman year going into university, however many years ago, like I would just come home after class or before an exam or something like that. And I kind of came to the realization like, wow, every minute, coming up to an exam is me taking the exam. When I get there, I'm just writing down answers and I'm just, pumping out, what they're asking for. But every kind of moment leading up to that is really when I'm taking the exam, which means, if I, stay up an extra couple hours or if I skip this meal or, if don't go home that weekend for a holiday or something like that and instead stay home and like work my butt off, that's like directly, translating into like improved educational performance. Yeah. And that's so heavy. And I think that was one of the biggest lessons that I gained out of college is figuring out how to balance that and how to, kind of let myself not give everything to something just for the sake of having given everything to it. It took a bout of depression and anxiety, frankly, to get to that conclusion. But
yeah,
I'm glad I got to it.
But I guess it's all about where your heart is, It's not, you can apply that to anything. Life is an exam.
Oh gosh.
It's not at the end of the road when you're in your hospital bed. That's not life. Life is everything else, leading up.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's why everybody talks about it being, about the journey, more so than where you're going.
Yeah, exactly.
Boils down to that.
And that's
that
another
old idiom.
realization that I had today as well. I went for a run today, and I realized one of the reasons why I'm not necessarily achieving what I really want right now in my life is because I'm waiting to achieve those things. I'm not actually living right now. There's a Radiohead lyric from the song True Love Waits. I'm not living, I'm just killing time.
Yeah. I growing up, I was always the guy who, all that I wanted was to look forward to something, and then it would happen, and I'd just find something else to look forward to, and I'd be
Go
bummed
on to
until
the next
I did.
big thing, yeah.
Yeah, but if you can learn how to kind of settle yourself in, whatever is right now, it's just so much more healthy.
Yeah.
It just feels so much better.
Right.
And it feels so much more real. That's something it'll take me years to figure out, I'm sure, but
It'll take your entire life to figure it out.
then I'll reach the test.
Oh, life's too short. You can't turn back time.
I don't know if life is too short, though.
You think it's the right length?
I feel like it has to be the right length because it's exactly the length that it is. There's a musing for you.
Granted, you live a long, fulfilling life.
That's true, but that's very true because who knows when the bucket will be kicked?
Yeah.
I don't know. like when people talk about how like time is like flying by. Yeah, sometimes it can feel like things are happening quickly, but then it's just kind of like that's how fast time goes. It goes, at a rate of 1 hour per hour.
Or you can just forget time exists.
Hey, I'm Joel. I live in Fort Collins, Colorado, and I'm a youth leader at a church out there. We'll get right back to Evan Opitz and his music, but I wanted to take a quick second to tell you a few things. These songs that you're hearing today were performed live in the local Glow's Chicago studio. If you like what you hear and you want to support today's artist, you can purchase this performance at thelocalglow.bandcamp.com for just a few bucks. While you're online, be sure to find us and give us a like on Facebook at The Local Glow. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to our feed on iTunes or your favorite podcasting app. If you're feeling particularly nice, please take a minute to rate and review this podcast on iTunes. It helps us to connect with new listeners and to continually improve this podcast. Anyway, back to the show.
This next song is called Damned. This is another one where I was very stressed out about a certain situation in my life. I was faced with someone that I knew who was, I had to decide how my opinion was going to change after this event that happened with them and someone else. And at the time, it was a very stressful situation. So I decided that I was going to write everything out in a song, so I didn't have to, think about it as much anymore. It's a very dark situation, and I think the song kind of reflects that. One day you told me the news. I could not fathom you. For it to be true, how's that for a living situation? Moving forwards and moving out. Oh, I wish that you could turn back. Tell yourself not to do that. Make a change in the weather. Whether you know that what is right or wrong, weak or strong, all along you had to know that you were taking advantage. What is alone? I can't wake up. Be bold in spite things over with you. I might be banished too. They're out there hunting for witches again. Can't say that he was my friend. Moving backwards in stoic breath. Oh, I wish that you could turn back. Tell yourself not to do that. Make a change in the weather. Whether you know that what is truth or lies, can't decide who is right. You had to know that you were taking advantage. What is alone? I can't wake up. People dance by. Can't say goodbye. Can't say goodbye. Can't say goodbye. Can't say goodbye. The sad goodbye. Walking in a constant nightmare when no one will believe. And anyone who agrees shall be damned. Shall be
With your music, you go so many different places with each individual song. And then even within each song, you go so many different places. I mean, at the end there, you were kind of doing like a throat singing sort of thing.
Yeah, I really wanted to start incorporating that a little bit more because I'm starting to get kind of good at it. And, it's obviously not the kind of thing that you want to like throw into everything, but like that's a good range for me to do it. And like the whole song is leading up to that moment. And everyone who agrees shall be damned, I did it one time when I was just, I'm always improvising when I'm not performing the stuff, trying to see, what if I, like trying new things out. And I tried that out and I was like, I think I like this here. I think I'm going to do that. I mean, it's like there's thousands of singer-songwriters, thousands of guitar players that can sing. So it's like, what can I do to change it up a little bit?
Yeah.
Because, I really wanted to be different.
Yeah, that's really cool. And you definitely are kind of pushing boundaries in a cool way. I mean, you're what, like 14 years old and you've already written like crazy cool stuff. Just wait till you're like 16, man, and you get your driver's license.
Then I can actually go to gigs, but
No
now
kidding.
I can't even play in bars yet.
How old are you actually?
I just turned 22.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you. That was August 31st was my birthday, so a couple
weeks ago. We can call that like a fair belated birthday.
I appreciate it.
It's still in the range.
You can wish me happy birthday like in
I could just wish
any
you
month,
an
you know? I
happy
don't care.
birthday in advance for 23.
And then you don't have to say it when I turn 23. You'd be like, oh, right, you already told me happy birthday last year.
Yeah, like I got to cover
about
it.
that.
I'll just cover the next decade real quick. Just get it done so I don't have to stress about it.
Happy golden birthday, your 31st.
Oh, you're so lucky that your golden birthday is coming up. Because by the time I learned about a golden birthday, I was way past it. Mine was
It's gonna be
the 6th.
Oh,
So I was
so
6. Nobody told me about golden birthdays until I was like 9.
you were just focusing on your handwriting and
Right, I had other things going on.
addition at that time, you know.
Okay, back in the real world though,
Yeah, back
you
in
got
Chicago,
one more song
Illinois.
here for us, right?
This is Clearing, yes.
So tell me about your friend that this song is about.
So, my friend and I, we've been friends for a really long time. And I was his best man at his wedding.
Right.
And I was going through a lot of stressful stuff when he was getting married. And he was too. You know,
I can imagine.
he moved to a new town, graduated college, got a new job, and had to find an apartment, and was getting married. All in the same month. All of that happened in the same month.
That's a nutty month.
So, like, he had a lot to go through. And I was also going through my own troubles and a lot of personal things that were stressing me out. And, you know, everyone does this. Everyone gets to a point where they start comparing themselves to other people. But, like, you know, because he's such a good friend of mine, I see his life and I see my life and, like, the different directions that we're going. And that's a good thing. You know, I don't want to be the same person as him. But I am inspired by him and the way that he's progressed over the years. And I guess a good way to put it, a more positive way to put it would be I'm honored to be his friend. I was honored to be the best man at his wedding. You know, he could have chose anyone. But there are things in my life that I was afraid to talk to him about because I was afraid to lose him, because I didn't want to be a negative force in his life. I didn't want my experiences or the person that I am to poison the life that he's made for himself, you know? And, like, that's a really dark way to put it, but, you know, and then I started thinking, you know, this guy is my best friend. And I love him to death. And he's basically a brother to me. You know, I don't write, I guess this, you can consider this a love song, but I don't write love songs very often because I don't know. It's just something that it doesn't come to mind, but this came to mind, and partially because I was so troubled by my own inner demons and I needed to put it out into a song because I was really scared about telling him about the things that were happening in my life, you know. And then I told him, and it was like, I don't know, a new beginning. And that's cool because we've been friends for so long, and now we're continuing to open doors of our friendship, which is really exciting. Sometimes I want to lead in the most ordinary way I can cure this disillusionment. Deep down past the trees, a creek runs far along the switching yard. Some piece of mine found among the pair of able men. 1 second at a time I lose my mind, sprinkled amongst the woodside creatures. Please don't leave if I tell you all the broken places that I have hid. If you can somehow let your vanity slip into something that is hidden, walking in into something new. Something new. One second at a time, I lose my mind, sprinkled amongst the woodside creatures. Please don't leave if I tell you all the broken places that I have hid. I'm not asking for answers from you like a feeding frenzy. You act just like the man I hope to be. One day when I break out of these one second at a time, I lose my mind, sprinkled amongst the woodside creatures. Please don't leave if I tell you all the broken places that I have. One second at a time, I lose my mind, sprinkled amongst the woodside creatures. Please don't leave if I tell you all the broken places that I have hid. Something new. Something new. Something new. Something new.
You have been listening to The Local Glow, your favorite independent Chicago podcast about the stories behind the Midwest's music culture. Enjoy Evan's music? Check out the link to our very own Bandcamp page in the show notes to find recordings from this, as well as all previous performances featured on this podcast. And while you're there, you can purchase Evan's live tracks from this episode for just $3. Additionally, since recording this interview, Evan's been really busy, so be sure to check out his band's websites, also linked in the show notes, to be in the know for multiple upcoming releases of his. Have you always dreamed of working on a podcast, even just a little? The Local Glow is looking to expand our team. If you have experience in podcast production, audio engineering, social media management, or writing, and you're interested in contributing your skills to our production, get in touch with us at thelocalglow@gmail.com. We're friendly folks, and we would love to talk to you about how you could get involved.
Hey guys, my name is Bryn Bixby. I'm the lead singer, songwriter, and keyboardist of Chicago's own indie pop rock band, Piece of Cake. The Local Glow is recorded in their independent studio in the incomparable neighborhood of Avondale in Chicago, Illinois. Today's episode is produced by Tariq Shahada, with music mastering by Colin Althouse. The episode also featured original music by Paul Schaefer of It and Austin Duncan of Snayl. Today's outro music is the song On My Way by Columbus, Ohio artist Sylvis. Thanks to Luke and the band for letting us use the tune. Also, what's up, Ohio?
Speaking of Ohio, here's your homework for the week. Find a cool new band or visual artist somewhere in Ohio. Like them on Facebook and send us a link to their music if you think they're dope. Let's get to know the Buckeye State. Until next time, friends, keep the glow alive.
I'm on my way.